Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Smile with Prachi. This is Prachi. Now, before we start today's video, today's writers, today's letters, first of all, please accept my apologies for how the hair is looking. I've done a DIY, so I've kind of just packed it all away, to keep it out of my face. And I also want to talk about a very interesting topic, which is honesty in relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't mean specifically just romantic relationships. It can be any relationship, right? A parent-child relationship, sibling relationship, friendships, a relationship you have with your teacher, your doctor, your boss, your colleagues, things like that. So how important is honesty for you guys? Research says that generally people care more about your intentions than whether you are actually lying or not. I think it also depends vastly on what kind of a relationship you really share with a person. For example, if my friend lies to me a little bit, I'll probably be okay with it, But if my husband lies to me a little bit, it will be talked about, We will have to discuss it through. So I think it also varies because see, when it's your husband, when it's your or wife, I mean, of course, these things apply to both the genders. Or when it's a romantic relationship of a serious kind in any way, your lives are kind of, mingled with each other's. There's a lot more at stake. Whereas in say a parent-child relationship, a little bit of lying is kind of expected. Parents do expect their children to lie sometimes. Children know that the parents will exaggerate and lie a little bit about things. That no, there are no chocolates at home, even though they have a big stack of chocolates at home, things like that. So I think it also varies from person to person, relationship to relationship, and most importantly, whether a lie was a selfish lie or if it was a lie to protect you, from feeling bad about something. For example, if a friend of mine comes to me and she asks me, Prachi, am I looking fat in this dress? And I know she really wants to wear that dress. And again, I don't even believe that, people should be fat shamed or one should worry too much about their weight. It's important to take care of your health, but weight is really just a beauty standard, otherwise. I would say you look fabulous. Do you like that dress? She'll be like, yes, I really want to wear it. I'll be like, you look absolutely fabulous. I think you're carrying it really well. And I'll leave it at that. Let her be happy. Why put unnecessary beauty standards or make things difficult for her when I know that that's the answer she wants to hear? It's not a selfish lie. It's actually a very selfless lie because it makes her happy. I wouldn't give her the correct answer. Even if she's looking a little bloated, I'll not tell her because who am I to judge? So I think it's also very important that if you are lying, it should not be a selfish lie, right? So let me know what your take on this is. And starting with the writers of today, let's call our first writer of the day, Door. Okay, so the fake name for the first writer of the day is Door. Door says, greetings of the day thee. This is the first time anybody has started a letter like that. So greetings of the day to you too. I think this was very different. Okay, so greetings of the day thee. I'm a 23-year-old brother to my 18-year-old sister. Last year, I found out that she was in a relationship with a guy and had a secret phone too. When I caught her red-handed, I told my parents. They slapped her, beat her up so she would understand that this is not the right age. She finally understood and broke up, moved on. It's been a year now and I can see that she has now started talking to another guy. When I checked her phone, I found out that they are talking for 4 hours a day. On confronting her, she claimed that they are just friends. She doesn't share any information about him when I ask. I want her to focus on her studies, become something in life. Looks like she's least interested in that. We support her a lot, even telling her that if someday she wants a love marriage, we will support that too. But she refuses to understand. When we ask questions, she shuts down completely. There is so much tension in the house because of this. We don't know how to handle the situation. Kindly help. Door, first of all, let me start by saying that, yes, I do believe that you are coming from a place of concern as a brother. And it's sweet that you're concerned for your sister, but the way the things are being handled, or for that matter, even being looked at, is so wrong, it's horrifying. It's actually horrifying to me how the things are being handled at home. Before I get there, let me tell you a little bit about the reality of the world these days, because I get hundreds of letters every single day for Smile with Prachi. Most of these letters are coming from teenagers, right? So I do get to know the secrets, the personal life of a lot of teenagers. Most teenagers these days are dating. And I'm talking about teenagers, 14, 15-year-old girls and boys dating. A lot of them are having sex. A lot of them are dating, having sex, and then breaking up and, dealing with the heartbreak. And that's just how life is. That is how the world is today. Okay? If you expect that this should not happen, if you think that this should not happen, that this is wrong, if that's your opinion, well, you're entitled to your opinion. I respect that. But let me tell you that that's not the world we live in today. And if that's how you think, you are living in a different time. Now, see, there are multiple ways of looking at things, right? If you say that, no, but this will not work in my household, this will not work in my family, we are not that broad-minded even. First of all, like I just said, that's the world we are living in. If you don't want that, if you want to go back 75 years, culturally speaking, throw away your television, stop getting newspapers at home, throw away all the magazines, all the books, even your educational books. Get the books that people were reading or studying from 75 years back. Wear the clothes that people were wearing back in the days. Eat the same kind of food. Stop getting friends over. Stop getting your relatives also over, because even that's an outside influence. Stop using the internet. Stop using any technology. Then say, I want to live back in those times. That's the thought process I believe in. Now, of course, I'm sure we can all agree that that's not going to happen. So what is the right thing to do? To accept that this is what the world is doing. Another example. If you still say that, no, but this is not going to work, these belief systems are too modern, my parents will never allow her to date at this age. See, there's another way of looking at things, another way of doing things, which a lot of people unfortunately even resort to. In a lot of families this happens. A girl is caught with a boyfriend, the parents take away the phone, they take away all her independence. And in a few years, as quickly as possible, they will get her married off to whoever they can find. And they think, okay, fine, my responsibility is over. She is married now, now she's sorted socially, there is no problem, and things are worked out. Well, let me tell you what the pros are. The benefit of that is that your responsibility is over, and that's it. That's the only benefit for you. The con is that that girl carries a grudge for the rest of her life. Okay. The con is that this is still the current generation. So a lot of times these marriages end in divorce because it wasn't even a properly aligned or understood marriage in the first place. It was a forced marriage. A lot of times there are extramarital affairs. Your sister might still tie Rakhi to you every Raksha Bandhan, but that will again be just a formality. So you don't really have a sister. Your responsibility, your parents' responsibilities are over, but don't expect love from her, respect from her, or a proper family, a proper relationship with her. That's another way of doing things. But is that right? Quite honestly, I don't think at all. Because you're ruining her life, you're ruining her chance at having a happy life. Right? Another way of looking at it is, the best way I think of looking at it is to first understand that we are no one to decide what the right age to date is. Not in today's generation, not in the current scenario at all anyway. Okay? Because by that logic, if you think people can't multitask, that she can't study and have a boyfriend together, by that logic, I shouldn't be working, I shouldn't be making YouTube videos. Because I am married and I love my husband. So I should dedicate all my time in just being in love with my husband. I should dedicate all my time in taking care of my dog, of my house, of my maids, and everything. How can I make YouTube videos? Because obviously I can't multitask. But that's not how it's happening. I've been married for 5 years and things have been going very smoothly. Right? So, number one, by understanding that people can multitask. Number two, by understanding that you checking her phone is absolutely horrifying. You cannot do that. That's a gross violation of privacy. And let alone the fact that she's an adult. She's 18 years old. It's almost criminal, if not criminal, to check somebody's phone without their permission. You cannot do that to your sister or any other human being. Not today, not tomorrow, not in future when you have a wife, not much later in future when you have children. You cannot do that. Yes, if you're dealing with a 5-year-old kid, things are different, but not when you're dealing with a teenager or when you're dealing with an 18-year-old adult woman. Okay? Number three, you also need to understand that your parents beating her up, slapping her, they're not entitled to do that. In India, we think it's okay for parents to behave like that because that's just how culturally things are. Let me tell you, A lot of psychologists have also said this, and in a lot of countries, this would be considered abuse, a serious abuse. Okay, so what is the third option? Once you understand these things, and if you're able to understand these things, I really hope you are, the correct thing to do would be right now to just give her space. Understand that she's an adult. Okay, she may not take all the right decisions because she's still 18. There's a lot of things that she needs to learn. So maybe right now she's too obsessed with her boyfriend, and if she's not studying, I understand that's a matter of concern, but you need to lure her with rewards. Okay, not by slapping her and beating her up and acting like it's normal, because it's not. It's abuse. Okay, so if you guys want her to study, give her a reward that, you know what, if you score well in your next exam, we'll buy you a cell phone, or we'll get you a high-speed internet connection, or we'll take you on a shopping trip, whatever. Do that. Okay, or tell her that listen, we think your exams are approaching, you're not studying, how about this? Maybe switch off your phone for 2 or 3 hours every day and spend those 2 or 3 hours just studying. Or we'll switch off the internet for 2 or 3 hours, so you're not having internet connection. Once you have completed your chapter, let us know, we'll ask you questions, and then we'll switch on the internet, because we think you're not studying. You need to be careful. But talk to her about it. Don't threaten her. You see how I spoke to you? That is how you need to speak to her, not in a threatening voice. We are going to turn off the internet. No. I think we need to turn off the internet because you're not studying. You see the difference? That is how you need to treat her. That is how you need to speak to her. Now, going back a little bit, there are a few more concerns I need to address from your letter. Number one, I hope it's clear by now that the only person who's doing the normal thing here is your sister. It's normal for an 18-year-old to date. It's not normal for you as a brother to try to parent her. It's not normal that you catch her red-handed, read her messages and all of those things. It's not okay for your parents to be beating her up, trashing her, behaving like animals. Okay, when you guys do this, she feels that this house is a jail. She knows that she cannot trust you, and she's not stupid. She's not going to come and tell you that, oh, I have a boyfriend again, because she knows that you guys are not going to support her and treat her badly again. So obviously she'll not tell you. You guys have broken that trust, and you cannot blame her for it. You guys are the ones to be blamed. Number one. Number two, what you have taught her in this entire process is that you guys are the enemy. These guys who she's talking to, who promise her love, she will obviously be more drawn to them, because with them she feels happy, with them she feels loved, with them she feels understood. While dating is normal, she will be a lot more inclined to date guys. She will be more inclined to seeking love. That will be her priority. You cannot blame her for that. Now, an ideal scenario would have been where your parents have a wonderful relationship. Not to say that they don't. I'm just saying an ideal scenario would be where parents have a loving, respectful relationship with each other and the kids. So both you kids grow up to understand what a healthy romantic relationship looks like. Okay, that it's an association of two people who are together out of love and respect for each other. They may be imperfect, but they are perfectly aligned with each other. Okay, that is how ideally the parents should be. They should be setting a good example. In an ideal scenario, you as a brother would be friends with her boyfriends. Keep a watch on them on the side, and let your sister know that if she ever finds herself in trouble, she can always come and confide in you, so that no boy can take advantage of her, blackmail her, treat her badly, because these things happen a lot. A lot. That's what you should be doing ideally. Now, of course, we can all agree that the situation right now is too messed up for it to happen like that. And quite honestly, we don't even know if the parents will agree or understand or not. But since you have written this letter, let me tell you, she's not a situation, she's not a tension, she's a living, breathing human being. Give her her space, wait for another 6 months, 1 year. And when you feel that the time is right, just let her know that, you regret doing what you did that time. And that if she ever has any problems with any guys, she can come to you and she can trust you. Just let her know that. That doesn't mean that she will trust you, but at least you can take one step forward, right? And you can hope that someday she's able to forgive you and your parents. Moving to the next writer of the day, who we're going to call Window. Window says, hey Prachi. So we recently had a baby who is just 2 months old. My problem is with my husband's family, especially his parents and 2 younger sisters. To clarify, we live in a separate apartment and his parents and sisters live about 2 kilometers from our place. My problem is that they come over whenever they like, pick up the baby, kiss her, coddle her, take pictures, post all over social media, circulate pictures on family groups, and whatnot. It may sound all cute, but I hate that they don't ask for my permission. I don't want my baby's pictures all over the place right now. Last time, my father in law was about to enter the baby's room with his shoes on. So I politely told him to take it off. This set this set off my mother in law, and she started commenting on how they have also raised kids. My sister in law once tried feeding the baby some melted chocolate for fun. Thankfully, I found out before my baby licked it. Again, feelings were hurt, and basically, I was the devil for being hyper. My husband is torn between the two sides and refuses to take a stand because he doesn't know which side he's on. He's tired of their everyday visits himself, but he's also sick of my daily complaints. He says I have anxiety and depression. It's impacting my marriage too, but he doesn't know how to stop them. I shared this with a few friends, and they say that every baby is on social media these days, so it hardly matters. But it matters to me. Is it such a bad thing? Am I really being unreasonable here, Prachi? Is this postpartum? Postpartum means postpartum depression, often seen in mothers just after they have had a baby. So, yeah. Is this postpartum? Because if it is, I don't mind checking my behavior. And if not, how do I stop this nonsense? Now, for you, Window, and for all the new mothers who are watching this video today, first of all, let me clarify. Every mother's journey, every mother's experience, every mother's way of raising the baby will be different. You are allowed to choose what you want to raise your baby as, how you want to raise your child. And of course, this applies to dads too. So let's put it this way, correction, that for every parent, for every set of parents, the experience will be different. Nobody has a right to judge you. Nobody has a right to call you out, say that you are being hyper, you're being oversensitive. No, even if you're being hyper, that is you. Having said that, if somebody genuinely comes and says that, you can tone it down a little bit, and if you think that they're coming from a good place with a good intent and good advice, you might want to think about it. Sometimes we all need a reality check once in a while, but by and large, this is your baby, and you will set your own boundaries, your own experience. Talking about boundaries, clearly your in-laws don't have this concept. So you are not wrong. This doesn't sound like postpartum to me at all. Postpartum depression can be there otherwise, but from your letter, what you are saying, this is definitely not postpartum. Okay, this is a very sensible, legitimate concern. So if you as a mother don't want your baby's pictures all over social media, you are allowed to decide that. People are not entitled to your baby, even if those people are family. The only people who have rights are you and your husband. So what I would suggest is, since you have mentioned that your husband is also a little tired of the visits, sit down with your husband, have a heart-to-heart conversation and say that, see, I am not okay. We have already discussed that. So I don't want to go into details right now. I know it upsets you. But is it possible that we can just tell the family that, because of COVID and, things like that, the doctor has advised the baby not to meet anyone right now? Alternatively, if you think that won't help, you can just say that, in my building, on my floor or next to neighbors, they all have COVID, and it's getting very dangerous. So we're not even taking the lift, we're not even taking the stairs, you're being very, very careful and things like that. So you just say that, we need to get some time off, and we'll let you know when it's the right time to come visit us again. Start setting a boundary where they call you before they come. And going forward, I think it's completely okay for you to say no, but considering how they are the ones who are actually being oversensitive here, to be honest, and also insensitive. Oversensitive to you saying no and insensitive to the baby. Next time you want to say no, go through your husband. Tell your husband that, see, I can't be the bad person. I can't let your parents think that I am stopping them. But it's better if it's coming from you. So you tell your father that before he enters the baby's room, he has to wash his hands, he has to open his shoes. He has to sanitize his hands as well. Okay? So let your husband take over, let your husband start talking to them. And this could be a while. Quite honestly, I'm a little surprised that your husband is not taking a stand. But then again, in his defense, he probably just finds it extremely stressful. He has probably never said no to his parents. He's afraid of disappointing them. So you need to nudge him a little bit and get him there in his own time. But of course, you can't give it too much time also, because it's about your baby's health. Okay, and if you feel that they're trying to feed the baby or something, if you feel that these things are happening again, you can always make up stories. You can say that, no, my baby was not well yesterday, so the doctor has said don't feed the baby anything else apart from what has been prescribed. Or you can say that the astrologer has said that it's not right for the baby's pictures to be all over social media, so let's not take any pictures. Things like that. Start making up stories and let your husband handle as much as possible. For the rest, people will just have to learn. They will protest a little bit, they will call you the devil for a few times, but eventually they will listen. Because see, if you don't do that, the problem doesn't stop here. It's not like just right now. When your baby grows older, uncles will start saying, oh, why don't you come and sit on my lap? Never allow that, by the way. Aunties will come and say, oh, but she has a slightly darker skin color. Why don't you apply this and this right in front of baby's face? She will say, oh, your baby is, growing up, but she's a little too healthy. She should be put on a diet. People will say all kinds of insensitive things. So they will start taking more and more liberties, and it will impact your baby's life. It will impact your peace of mind, the peace at your home. So start cutting it out right now and then. Now, immediately, before it goes there, with time. Okay? And if people get offended, let them be a little offended. They'll figure it out for themselves. It's not your problem. Okay? So guys, that's all I want to share in today's Smile with Prachi video. Okay, as usual, a very long video. But if you've been through something similar yourself, let me know in the comment section below what your story is like, what you have been through, what you have learned, how you have handled your situations. And if you have any suggestions for door and window, our two writers of the day, you can share your suggestions for them in the comment section below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. This is me, Prachi, signing off now. Bye-bye.